Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Russell Wilson moving to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now we're going to be talking about Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. But first, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This will put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Alrighty. Welcome back.
We had a little change to our programming.
Yes. Little change to the dynamic today, but
on the sneak sip, one story got cut on and left on the floor.
Sorry.
Off with that story's head.
Maybe it'll be here tomorrow. We'll see.
We'll see.
Play it by ear. All right. So now we're going to be discussing Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins is leaving the Vikings for a 4-year deal with the Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons has finally solved their franchise quarterback issues. The club agreed to terms on a 4-year deal with former Minnesota Vikings free agent quarterback Kirk Cousins on Monday, according to his agent Mike McCartney. A source told ESPN's Adam Schefter that Cousins' deal is worth about $180 million, $45 million per season, including a $100 million guarantee. Cousins joins an offense which includes several players who were taken in the first round. The Falcons have 3 first-round offensive linemen, left tackle Jake Matthews, right tackle Caleb McGarry, and 2-time Pro Bowler Chris Lindstorm at right guard. He also has Atlanta's last 3 first-round picks, tight end Kyle Pitts, receiver Drake London, and running back Bian Robinson, skill position players with which to work. Beyond, sorry.
All right.
So
first off, all right. I sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just going to ask, how do you feel about this?
What was my thought?
How do you feel about this?
Okay, I'm a little surprised that this actually happened. I thought Minnesota was going to keep him. I thought Minnesota would kind of go all out to keep him. So I was a little bit surprised about that because it leaves me wondering, what is Minnesota's plan for the future? Minnesota, a solid organization. And one of the things about that people don't understand about the Minnesota Vikings is what a great organization it is. It is. Matter of fact, we were just talking about the NFL grades that came out.
Yeah.
Year after year after year, the Vikings are always number 1 or number 2 or number 3. They're year after year. The players love to be there. You know, the organization takes care of their players incredibly well. And the Cousins seemed really happy to be in Minnesota. So I was expecting that they would come to some type of agreement where they weren't going to let him go anywhere else. But that's the danger of when you allow your quarterback to be a free agent. Now, if I'm Kirk Cousins, I think it's a smart move. It's a smart move, but a dangerous move. The smart move is the reason why it's a dangerous move. First, Minnesota he's been in the room. He knows who Minnesota is. He knows the organization. The organization loves him. Long term, sometimes the organization that brings you in and you've been there a long time, they have a lot of loyalty to you. So if you have a bad year or two, they're less quick to pull a Sean Payton, Russell Wilson situation. Now going to the Falcons has it all. If you're thinking about, hey, I want to contend for the playoffs, I want to contend for MVPs, well, the Falcons is not a bad place to land.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I thought Justin Fields, that would have been the perfect place for Justin Fields. It's a young team, solid, young offensive line, young weapons. These are all things that every quarterback wants.
And they got a new coach, too. New coach.
That's the question.
Yeah.
See how well someone meshes with the coach. But to have a potential Pro Bowl skilled level tight end, running back, wide receiver, offensive lines, that's everything that a person will want. I could really see the Atlanta Falcons really making a big jump with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Kirk Cousins is vanilla ice cream. You know, you can get risky at the birthday party and be like, I want that Samoa ice cream. And you know what? And it may taste the ingredients may not be what everyone wants. Mm-hmm. But you show up with that vanilla ice cream, everybody's gonna be happy. It's not gonna blow your cap back or anything. Don't get me wrong. But Kirk Cousins is that guy. Kirk Cousins is not going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be Lamar Jackson, but he's going to be Mr. Consistent. He's going to put up solid numbers throughout the year. He's going to put the ball, he's going to run your offense, he's going to put the ball where it needs to be, and you're going to win games with him. I think this is the move. I'm right now with this move. I got Atlanta making the playoffs just by adding him. Mm-hmm. That's how good I think he is. So many people, a lot of times, looks at him as he's not that great of a quarterback. Yes, he is. Go look at the numbers. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the same people that say Dak Prescott's not a really good quarterback. Dak Prescott is an incredible quarterback. He can't get you to the promised land, but he'll get you to the gates. and that's Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has the ability to contend for MVP year after year, put up huge numbers, win a bunch of regular season games. I don't look at this as a get you to the Super Bowl move. There's more pieces that going to need to be made before this team's contending for the Super Bowl. But I think this team is definitely contending for the division and for, in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And that's the biggest battle of them all. That's one thing fans miss out on, is the fact that your goal is to win your division, get a first round bye, and you've made the playoffs, you won your division, you got a first round bye, then the new season starts. Playoff football is not the same as regular season football, but you got to make it through regular season football. And Kirk Cousins is one of those guys that will get you through regular season football. And so I think it's a fantastic move.
Well, what do you think is going to happen with the Vikings then, since
I don't know.
Kirk Cousins
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't think people realize how important he was to the Minnesota Vikings. Mm-hmm. The Minnesota Vikings were a decent organization who contend for playoff spots and consistently won games. I think they take, I think they're going to take a big step back. Kirk was a very and really important part of this. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. When I look at it, I think losing him makes them no longer a playoff contending team. I don't see them making the playoffs this year unless they go out and trade. Now this could be one of those situations where they're like, hey, we want to go out and get Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't see the Bears really trading Justin Fields to the Vikings. Mm-hmm. So It's going to be interesting. I think I think the Vikings have decided maybe they're thinking we need to take a step back before we can move forward. Sometimes an organization can look at a quarterback and look at a team and says, "Listen, we have gone as far as we can with what we have. We need to take a step back so we can move forward." And maybe that's where they're at. Listen, Kurt has taken us as far as he can take us. We need to bring in a new quarterback, revamp around there, and then move forward. Uh, it's an organization that I trust. It's an organization I believe in. I know they haven't won anything. So many people look at the fact that, like, hey, they never win the Super Bowl. Well, most teams don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's 32 teams and only one makes the Super Bowl. So it's hard to win championships. And when you look at it, lately it's been the same group of teams that keep going. It's the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And before that was New England. It's very hard. Very few people find that magic potion that gets them to consistently winning or even win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I gotta believe that Minnesota's looked at things and just decided, listen, we can keep doing what we're doing. We've been contending every year for the playoffs, but that's all we do is contend for the playoffs. I think maybe they're like, we got to do it. We're doing something completely and totally different.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
So a segment inside of a segment. What's it?
Yes.
Give me segment 2 within our segment.
Moving on to Baker Mayfield. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and quarterback Baker Mayfield agreed to a 3-year deal for $100 million in total and a $50 million guarantee, sources told ESPN on Sunday. Mayfield is set to make $30 million guaranteed in 2024, $30 million with $20 million guaranteed in 2025, and $40 million in 2026. There is a $5 million per year in incentives, bringing up the maximum value of the contract to $115 million. Mayfield confirmed the deal in a statement to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Mayfield said, "I wanted a chance to come back. I love Coach Bowles and the staff. I'm happy to be here, and I want to win more in the postseason." Mayfield signed with the Bakers on a 1-year deal worth $4 million in March of 2023.
Wait, you said he signed with the Bakers.
I mean, the Buccaneers. Sorry.
I'm like, well, they changed the name of the team too? I mean, like, that's a deal.
Just for him, yeah.
That's loyalty right there. The Tampa Bay Bakers.
It's the day after Monday, guys.
I'm like, I'm signing with if anybody comes out and say, listen, we're gonna change the name.
We gotta change the team name. Yeah.
Sign. Just sign the contract and move on. Sorry, anyway. I had to do that. Sorry.
Mayfield signed with the Buccaneers on a 1-year deal worth $4 million in March of 2023, charging him with the monumental task of replacing 7-time Super Bowl winner Tom Brady. So, Baker Mayfield.
First off, let's talk about me making fun of you calling them the Tampa Bay
for the Bakers.
Listen, there is no one on the planet that messes up more words than yours truly here. So
I don't know. I feel like I'm racking up. I'm racking it up right now.
Don't get a brother wrong now. You climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
But no, I mess up all the time. So it is easier said than done. When the lights are on, you guys, and you next thing you know, you're calling them the Tampa Bay Bakers. It's not that's your boy here does it too. So
okay.
All right. So my first thing, I'm going to start out by giving people my history and background of what I've thought of Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. From the beginning, when Baker came out of college, I was like, the Browns should not draft Baker. Mm-hmm. He's too emotional. He's too immature. He's he doesn't work within a system. He's kind of, I'm going to, backyard football-esque player. And I just wasn't a fan. I didn't think the Browns should draft him at all. He had one good year in Cleveland and a whole lot of fumbles and interceptions and a lot of bad situations in Cleveland. And I thought the Browns should have gotten rid of him. And I just wasn't a big fan. Mm-hmm. When he went to Carolina, wasn't a fan there either. But in that time, he went to Tampa Bay. And the thing that he did was, to me, he reinvented himself in Tampa Bay. He became a lot more mature. He found a team that rallied around him. Mm-hmm. He got the team to not only rally behind him, but then increase their play and perform well, where everyone initially thought, Tom Brady's gone, scrap this team, put him off, sell him off to Cancun right now. Mm-hmm. And he got them into the playoffs. No one deserves this contract more than Baker Mayfield. I love it. I have been, like I said, consistently not a proponent for signing Baker Mayfield, but he has changed. In my eyes, he has mm-hmm. changed. I saw the level of maturity that Baker Mayfield has developed over the years. He's not the same quarterback that came out of college and went to Cleveland, Mr. Very cocky, very arrogant. I know everything. And the organization definitely wrapped around him and worked with him and worked with his skills. I think it was smart to sign him for a multi-year contract because I would have done the same thing. And now I'd start developing our path forward is Baker Mayfield is our future quarterback for the foreseeable future. He's our franchise quarterback now. And I think it's a good fit. I love the fact that his maturity and that, it shows that a quarterback can kind of evolve and mature and become a better quarterback. He's a better quarterback now than when he made the playoffs with the Browns. What he did in Tampa Bay was quite impressive. And, the organization has been righted by, losing Tom Brady, and that could set an organization back when you lose the Hall of Famer, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, well, we'll just bring in Baker because we're gonna suck this year. We're not gonna be that great this year. And Baker's like, whoa, hold my beer. Let me show you what I can do. Let me do a little shake and bake over here. And he did. He won over the city of Tampa Bay. He won me over. He won a lot of people over. I don't think there's very many people out there that's upset about them signing him. I think it was a really smart move. And it wouldn't have surprised me if there weren't more teams out there trying to get Baker.
It's too late now.
Yeah. I love this move. That's my main take of this. Congratulations, Baker. You are proving a lot of your detractors wrong by your resurgence, and it is a resurgence. And I'm one of those people that he's. I don't necessarily believe he's proven me wrong. I think I was right. But the question has changed. Baker changed the question. Yeah. So that's it.
He's killing it. And honestly,
and
I'm gonna call it the Tampa Bay Bakers now.
I like it. And you know what? Let's see. I remember, this shows how old I am. I remember when Jordan was with the the Chicago Bulls. That shows how long ago this was. And there was a period of time I refused to call them the Chicago Bulls. I'd call them the Chicago Jordans because I thought they sucked. I thought they were not a good team. And I hate using the word suck on air. It just kind of sounds crass. But at the time, they weren't really a great team. They get bounced out every year. It was just, this is before Pippen got there. And we used to call them, me and my friends used to call them the Chicago Jordan or the Jordan Bulls. And then Pippen came there and all this, and the rest is history. So when you say the Tampa Bay Bakers, it kind of brought me back to my childhood and made me think back to then.
Oopsies.
Which then it's like, yeah, that's a long time ago, sister.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing Dana White reacts to Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul boxing match. So stick around.